Can you guys tease anything that's coming up? Anything that fans should get excited about?
We're going to give away the whole thing right now.
We open on
page 1. No, we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, like another Halloween special.
Even crazier than ever before.
Quite scary, actually. Quite scary. But also funny at the same time, which I think is hard to do.
Funnier than ever before.
Yes. We also have season 6 kind of ended up being a much more kind of emotional season. Like the characters are going to grow and change a lot in this season, and we see a lot of things like we have some half-hour specials. We also have 3 Christmas-themed episodes. We're going to have a really awesome Thomas episode that I'm super pumped about. And then old characters are going to be returning. Like it's going to be cool. For people who are fans of the show, I think they're really going to like it.
Great.
Will Mordecai and Rigby ever listen to Benson?
You know, when things get serious,
Yeah, I think they're coming around. I think they've earned a little more respect for him over the years.
Yeah.
So like last 5 minutes of the episode, pretty much, right? Last 2 minutes.
Yeah. I think they always realize they should have listened to it, but it's really hard in the moment to not just, work. They always want to go do something else.
But I feel like Benson's evolved. Like he now appreciates them a little more in certain instances.
Yeah.
Like,
He's kind of turned more into like a father figure where it's like he gets it, and we've seen that he's actually has been cool in the past for sure. But
One huge focus is video games. Are you guys big gamers yourself, and you just want to throw them randomly in? Especially since it's always retro.
Yeah.
Retro style.
Well, the funny thing about that is, like, as a kid, I was crazy into video games, so I knew, like, all that stuff. And then after getting this job, like, I don't play at all because I don't have enough time, which is why we probably only reference older games that we remember. But if we ever got a chance to play new ones, we might put some of that stuff in. But it just looks funnier to only show 8-bit, like, really crude graphics with, like, weird beeps and groups.
Which was the theme of your DS game, 3DS game.
Yeah.
It was the 8-bit stuff.
Yeah. That was really fun to make, and to try to, like, incorporate all of the cool styles of gaming that I remember, like space shooters and then top-down, like, gun.
It was fun. It was fun.
That was a really fun one to be a part of.
Going into the 6th season, is it any different from the first season? You find, how does that work?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I was looking at the shows from the first season and just how they've changed, and I feel like the first season you can kind of tell like what a classic regular show episode is. They're I'm not gonna say they're more straightforward, but now, like you were saying before, like the latter seasons are just more emotional, and just because the world has evolved so much. It's not just, Mordecai and Rigby are.
Yeah, the first season was all, like, every episode is about Mordecai and Rigby, and then, like, watching them get into trouble and get out of trouble. But then, as the seasons went on, we started focusing on, like, Vincent and Pops and Skips and the side characters, and then we started focusing on even more side characters, like Muscle Man, and in the most recent seasons, we've had, like, the High Five episode, High Five Ghost, and, Eileen is starting to come more into the show, and, like, we're taking advantage of our female characters. Where it's like, I don't know, we have a lot more room to play, whereas before it was always just Mordecai. So it's neat to see how the world is evolving and growing.
I hope it's just more layered now. Like I love those early episodes, but I hope by now, like I feel like the show lasts for a while. I think you want it to be more textured, and so hopefully it is, while having the same classic feel.
It's like classic Coke.
Yeah,
But
it's like classic Coke. It's the same but new.
You've talked about how you've kind of incorporated more emotion into the last season. So going into that, how are you guys working on Mordecai's relationships?
that's one thing that I will not talk about in detail, but we're going to get to see it, how it plays out and how it opens up, and unfortunately he's just really bad at that stuff, so it's going to be a little bit of a hard thing to watch, sometimes a very funny thing to watch. So
Yeah, because he's like dating CJ, right? So I think we moved on. He has troubles with Margaret, and now he's a little more stable. I think a little bit more. I'm more comfortable with CJ hanging around. think it's going to go going well for them.
I feel like
See how it turns out.
I feel like a lot of the troubles too, like they come like we'll all have a variety of troubles that we've had in the past, you know. So it's kind of hopefully it's kind of real.
It's pretty real. Like the time I tried to eat a 12-egg omelet to win a hat.
Yeah.
So we put that into the show.
Pretty emotional.
It was hard. I couldn't do it.
Have there been any other highlights over the years? Any scenes like that stand out?
Sure. All of our half-hour episodes I'm really proud of. Like the Christmas special, which had like Ed Asner and Thomas Hayden Church in it. That one turned out so good. And the Exit 9B episode turned out. That was our first half-hour special where we introduced Thomas. That was really fun. And then
like the last Laserdisc player.
Oh yeah.
That episode stood out a lot.
Yeah, which it got nominated for an Emmy this year, which is really cool. We're super excited about that.
Thanksgiving special, we were talking about it for a while, and I thought that came together in a nice way.
Sean's gonna sing it live at the panel
It's
today.
a Thanksgiving special.
Oh, nice.
A little later.
Seriously.
It's gonna be cool.
You guys bring in a huge pool of talent, voice actors, writers, everything. How's it for you guys to, let's say, when you brought in Mark Hamill and Skid, or when you brought Roger and Thomas, Ed Asner, you pull in a big pool. How is it for you guys to work with all these guys?
I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah, just to get to like see those guys on a regular basis. And, like, I mean, everybody is like just super like down to earth and like really they like enjoy working on the show. Also, like everybody.
I'm always amazed when they even just say yes. 'Cause I'm like, do you think they'll want to do it? Should we ask? And then whenever they actually say yes, I'm like, oh, they're coming in. It's gonna be crazy. And then I try to play it down.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
You act like you don't know him.
Yeah. Oh, who are you? Oh, nice to meet you.
Mark Hamill? I never heard of him.
Yeah. Mark what? Oh, Star Wars. Yeah, I've seen it.
What have you been in?
Just read these lines.
That we were just hearing Roger's story of when he first met Mark at the table.
Yeah.
He just made us laugh on that one.
Yeah, Roger is so awesome, and after getting to know him, because he started on the show a long time ago doing a lot of side characters, because he's super versatile and can like change his voice to any style or any sound. But now, whenever I'm driving around in the city, like I'll hear him everywhere. Like he's on commercials on the radio, and he's the DJ voice on a bunch of different radio stations and video games and all that stuff. So I'm like, Roger is everybody.
He's Batman!
I know.
Do you guys have, like, when you started the first season, did you sort of have a wish list of things that you'd like to do, but you weren't sure if it would ever happen? And what of those things have happened, and do you still have more?
Well, I remember on first season, my big wish list was to make it past first season and get a second season. So that worked out. All right. We just found out we got a season 7, which is crazy. So it's still going.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's like specific stuff.
There's a lot of things that I was like. I remember in season 1 when we were doing our animatics, we were putting in licensed music just to give a flavor of what we wanted to be, like all the 80s stuff. And I never thought that they would let us actually put it in because they had to go and license those songs, but they really liked the animatics, and then they said, do you want to try to get those songs for real? And I said, yes. And it worked, and so now we get to put in a couple songs per season, and it wasn't even a wish, because I was like, there's no way they're going to do this. But they did, so that was really cool.
I got more, but I just need a drink of water. I was talking.
Well, are there any challenges with making the show? It sounds like a total blast to do, but is there anything that's kind of tough? Can you expand?
All of it. It's really hard. We make it look easy, but yeah. I think just animation in general is really tough medium to work in. It's so detail specific. It's such a collaborative medium. Like so many artists working on the show, like overseas even, and it's kind of a miracle every time just like episode like gets done and like it's finished. Yeah, and it's good. Like on top of that,
Because each episode takes 9 months to make, so you have to think like, how many places could it go wrong? And
every step step of the way, and like keep checking it, keep trying to make it better, like all of the way.
And then also from a writing standpoint, I mean, starting with season 1, the sky's the limits. But now we'll come up with a lot of ideas in writers' meetings. We're like, oh, it's too similar to something we already did, so we'll just axe it so that we can make sure we're only making like original stuff and hopefully funnier than what we've done in the past. And we have all these episodes in a list. You should tell them about the list of the canceled.
Oh, what's the list?
It's pretty
Yeah,
hilarious.
because we have this list called the cold sub list, which is
A cold sub means bad.
yeah, which is just a rejected idea. But the ideas sort of start off. We write up a one-page, basically beat sheet, just very quick, beginning, middle, end. Then we flesh out to an outline, and then at a certain point, JG is basically saying yes, no. We like the idea, but there are almost 1,000 ideas that are either these outlines or these one-page sort of beat sheets premises that have just been rejected. That are good, but there's like a little off, It's like, Pops decides he wants to, be a ballroom dancer, and then we work on that for like a week. Yeah, but at some point we're like, oh, that's kind of funny, and then for whatever reason, maybe the original reason because he should be a ballroom dancer, but there's just 1,000 of them. So
we're like really picky just to ourselves, because the network also, like, after we've gone through that, then they get to go over and be picky as well. So we're really trying to only find like the gems to move forward on.
And I think all this time later, that's the challenging part. I mean, at least from the beginning of the pipeline. That's challenging, but it also makes it fun, We know we have, 40 more episodes to do now. So it can't be like the ones before. They have to have evolved from the end of season 6. So it's challenging, but super fun.
Cool.
So when you were creating the characters for the series, what were some of the inspirations you had on, like, maybe putting some of yourself in it, some of the things you've done for all the characters? How did you guys go about that?
Well, at the beginning, when I did the pilot, like, a lot of those characters were pretty much based on me and my friends in college. So all of the, like, that's just kind of stuff we did when we were messing around in school. And, like, love of video games and all of that stuff. And then as the show grew and evolved, like, I think everybody is putting, like, parts of themselves in when they're writing or boarding or, doing anything in the show, like what a t-shirt will look like, or, those types of things. So it's really neat to see it all come together at the end, especially in these later seasons, because there'll be tons of things in there that, like, I never would have thought of, and they're hilarious. It's something Sean did, or, something Matt wrote, where it's like, as a team, we're able to come up with so much more content. Like, what kind of stuff you guys put in?
I think I can remember was like, I think it was like season 3, the Death Bear episode, and like, just like the setting and stuff, like just based it off of going to the zoo here in San Diego as a kid, and so like kind of just like when I was boarding it, drawing just how I remembered like wandering around the zoo, like that's what it looks like in the show, like if you go to the zoo here, like you can kind of recognize it's kind of based off that, just for like my memory, a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember.
And then Matt literally puts himself in the episode. Whips.
Yeah, I'll, whenever I can put myself in, I just think it's better for the project in general. I think we can all agree Quips is probably the most beloved character. So anyway, I don't want to dwell on it. Let's just leave it there. Spin-off is what
Yeah, exactly. That's great. They told us last one.
cool.
So, if you had
Actually,
one
just
more.
really quick question. How does it feel for you guys knowing you have 2.5 million fans watching every season?
I can't even understand, like, what that would look like to actually see those people. Like, that just sounds like a fake number.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
You need
why
like
it's not
15
free,
San Diego Comic Cons to fit it all to watch?
That's really crazy to think of, but I'm just glad people are watching it. I hope they keep watching it. There's a lot more for them to see.